Hi, Jessie. I'm so happy that we're doing this.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I feel mothering is it's one of those secret tools that Mother Nature keeps for us. There's a lot of healing and transformation that's in store for us if we really tap into the self-empowered energy in a way. And I'm really grateful that you're up for a conversation in this process, in these months that lead up to one of the biggest rites of passage, I feel, giving birth. And we're birthing ourselves. We're birthing the mother as well as we give birth to the baby.
Was it you that told me about an indigenous um, ceremony that when the mother gave birth, they would use the blood from the birth, take it away in a towel, bury the towel, the women that were at the birth, and then once they've buried it and done their prayers, they would come back and reintroduce themselves to the mother as completely new women. I thought that was so beautiful.
No, that wasn't me, but I love it. Yes, and I really do feel this indigenous wisdom in all kinds of ceremonies and places of we're not always the same. We're being reborn. There are traditions where you get a new name because you're not the same. And I feel in our Western culture, we're so stuck to me, my identity, and holding on to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah, my impulse really is to bring this wisdom that I feel is not yet widely tapped into. That the simple or not so simple process of pregnancy, giving birth, raising, nourishing another human being through your body and raising another human being with all the potential that that holds, because we can make such a huge difference in any of these nuances that we choose. And I would love to, in a way, hear, if you're open to that, your process, because I feel while we are pregnant, things happen. There are shifts. I mean, we're already in the making.
I yeah, I don't even really recognize myself to before I was pregnant already. And it almost feels like I've I've become a woman, whereas maybe I was still a girl.
Yeah.
And I really feel that with regards to trusting myself, like with trusting my body, it almost feels like it's come more naturally to trust myself in this period. And that is so crazy to feel. It's so, there's no doubt when even an emotion or a sensation or a threat or a um, anything comes up, I trust instantly, as opposed to before having to like rationalize and like, oh, I don't know if that's quite right. I'm just there like, I have felt this and this is how I feel.
This gives me goosebumps because I feel that that's how it's meant to be. It's meant to be that our system, our body, all our centers of intelligence, they provide us with exactly the pieces of information in exactly the way that's adequate for this very moment. And we just forgot to listen. We made life more complicated.
And also I used to make excuses for like, you know, for not trusting my intuition. I used to like really sometimes have to I'd suppress it, fully suppress it because I wasn't sure. I just wasn't quite sure if it was true or if it was trauma or if it was a trauma response or if it was a fear or an anxiety. And it feels like even just as a woman, I needed this initiation to come back and be like, you're good, Jess. Like what you're saying is true for you.
Yes. And you are willing and open and able to receive that gift. I feel, sometimes there are layers and layers, and it's hard to break through that, and it's hard to trust. Like I was thinking about my first, giving birth for the first time. I was thinking about it a lot and maybe too much. And luckily, at some point, my body kicked in. And I do feel it's really the best preparation ever, what you're doing now, to tune into this instrument and be willing. I feel that that's all.
It's so interesting how like we us humans we tend to overcomplicate things, and it actually feels quite esoteric and simple. And for me anyway, it feels like the only thing that ever comes between me and my intuition is doubt or fear.
Yeah.
And like the veil between me and the truth is doubt. I feel scared, and I can allow it to be there and not be so afraid of fear.
That's powerful. Fear is here. Okay. What if I'm not afraid of fear being here? What if I'm not irritated about doubt showing up? I'm very touched by your, in a way, simple recognition of, oh, doubt and fear come in between me and my intuition. I like to say, and I breathe with this for a moment. That's my way to go about it. That I'm okay. I acknowledge this is here because I don't have to follow it. I don't have to fall for fear.
Patti Smith, the poet and the musician. Have you heard of Patti Smith? She did an interview one day, and she said the only thing she's afraid of is fear itself. And I actually really understand that. I could really put it down, to put anything down to anything, any issues, any problems, anything that I have, it comes from fear. Fear itself, not even fear of whatever it is that's happening.
Yeah. Yes, because fear really is so strong in our system, right? I mean, it moves us. It's a specific type of energy, and it can feel irritating, of course, until we, in a way, I mean, I always like to point to the energy because fear is also life's energy in a specific frequency. Yeah. And for me, one of the pointers really was, is there something, if I still have time to worry and think, it's obviously not an urgent moment. Otherwise, we usually simply, we're there. When it's really dangerous, usually our systems just do the right thing. They act. Yeah, there's no thinking in between. Yeah, and I love the surrender. I do feel that surrender is one of those superpowers of women.
Yeah,
And you can give birth with surrender.
yeah.
And it's like a big wave. It's like an active surrender, I feel. It's not a passive,
Oh,
ah, you know, happen to me thingy.
no.
It's a, hey, I'm in this. But like surfing, I'm not negotiating with the wave and I'm not kind of wanting it any different. It's like, yeah, it's not going to work. I'm fully present in my surrender.
Mm.
I'm here. Whoa. And it initiates the birth process.
Yeah, yeah,
And for the mother, in a way, it's the most important is, do I feel safe and held here?
yeah.
That's the natural instinct of the, of the body, of the mammal aspect in us. We need a safe place. It needs to be protected, secluded. It needs to be my way. It needs to be my way, whatever that is. And then the waves come and I can ride those waves.
Mm.
I can really breathe and I don't have to particularly like it because I feel everything that's, I don't know if it's for that is if it's like that for you, but I feel familiar things tend to feel good just because they're familiar, and unfamiliar things tend to feel, a bit, ooh, scary maybe, just because they're not familiar yet. And of course, those waves, those contractions, at first, they are not familiar. And so I don't really know. And I feel I like the word receptive by now more than passive
Yeah.
because I feel there's this receptivity in the, yeah, in this feminine energy. And it's active. It's like a dance. I'm not deciding I'll move to this side, but I follow the wind that's moving me that side, or the waters.
Mm.
And in a way, birth is like that, I feel. It's pretty intense, I feel. I've heard of people who had birth without pain. I don't feel that I had birth without pain, but I learned during my first birth, sort of, that I wasn't really that good at surrendering or dancing with. I was passive in this, oh, my midwife, she'll know what to do. She's experienced, which was true, but it took me a while to get it that, it's just me. I'm going to give birth here with this body, and no one's going to do it for me. That's just my job is to tune in and to mm, also support the process, also show up for it.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's such a personal journey, isn't it? It really invites you to into a lot of discernment, um, even with regards to what you see online and what's spoken about. For me, my body has actually almost rejected everything that I've seen, and my eyes just close when I read things, and I just turn my phone off, and it's almost like I'm in avoidance with the outside information, because um, I know deep down, this is a very personal decision. This is to do with me and safety and the child and the elements and the environment that I'm in. And no, nothing I can read. I don't, for me anyway. Nothing I can read or listen to. Like of course, there's all the podcasts in the world, and there's an overwhelming amount of books to read. I haven't actually read any of them, and I don't plan on reading any of them. And I know that that could affect things or not, but I do just feel like this is innate. Um, this I am woman,
Mm.
like that's yeah, I am a woman. Like, we have a womb. Like, my body knows what to do. Of course there's fear, of course I'm scared of anything happening to the child, um, but I trust my body. I trust my body to even maybe to also indicate if I needed help, if I need support, and for me to be able to know, hold on, something actually isn't right here. Something actually isn't right here.
Yeah. And I'm touched by your, clarity of really seeing this potential of unlearning as well. Because
Yeah.
I do feel that, there's all kinds of stuff out there, and there is useful information always useful for me in this situation. And I mean, life is unfolding from the inside out. And I feel really have it, we're in a reverse situation.
Yeah.
So the unlearning, it's really an important step. It's crucial to really shed. And as you say, the noise of the world, let it be there, and to really start tuning into this other voice that's also here, this natural voice, this intuition, this wisdom, this I am woman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all included. I used to, that was my go-to in a way to see, hey, if birth and all the rest were as complicated as it often seems these days, humanity simply would not have survived until now.
No.
Something must be very simple in this whole process because, we made it.
There also is a part of me that does feel there is a disempowerment movement too with birth. There is an energy that doesn't empower women to reclaim their birthright as their own guardian for whatever reason, which could be it's a very powerful thing to do. It's a woman like the desires power over her own body is not easy to control.
And the baby that is being born on its own terms also brings a different sovereignty in a way with it,
Yeah,
because it's really a dance between the baby and the mother.
yeah.
I would say by now, I don't know if you ever looked at Frédéric Le Boyer. I mean, this is probably a century or whatever ago by now. I don't remember. It was already, you know, the quarter of a century that I've been a mother ago, it was already older. So, chiki chiki.
I
But
think
but I mean, the German title of this book is called Birth Without Force.
wow, I like the sound of that.
And he just has these, it's a black and white book that I have. And you see those really divine, heavenly, angelic expressions on those newborn baby faces. They are just relaxed. And it's also, babies don't have to start screaming the moment they are born. Why should they? It's just, there is, and I mean, everything has its pros and cons. I just feel the more it's in alignment with the mother, with the body, with the natural flow for mother and child, the, let's say, softer and more sovereign the whole process is. And I had that, like, I gave birth, my first birth was not in water. I always was very much drawn to water, to be in water. And for my second, third, and fourth birth, I had water. And my third birth in water was, I was holding on to the rim of the pool. So my back was up, which means that the face of the baby that came out was looking upwards. And my husband could look right into the face of the baby.
Wow.
And
Wow.
for him, he said this was one of the most amazing, it was the most amazing moment in his life, because he said, in the midst of, because I was moving, I was making sounds, it's like, ooh. So
Yeah.
it was a bit wild. And he said, in the midst of this baby face was completely calm.
Wow.
And it
Yeah.
was only the head coming. And for him, it was like, wow. The, this is a completely calm face in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
Just relaxed.
Yeah.
So no need to cry. I mean, he was underwater anyway at that time, which is also, if water speaks to us, I always felt from the waters into the waters. That was somehow my feeling that it's softer. That's how I felt. Look at statistics, not this week, sort of, but it's I mean, I do feel we have a bit of an emergency medical care system, and I very much appreciate it for those emergencies because it can save, in emergencies, can save life. Birth, I feel if we approach it as a natural process, that's the best, the most relaxing, and in a way, the safest approach
Yeah.
to really take care. And just as you said, you listen. Do I need support? What type of support do I need? What type of space do I need? There's no, I mean, that's what I love about birth in a way, but what is a bit frightening as well, there's no recipe. There's no one, two, three, do this list. It's a rite of passage. It's a, there's a surrender to life involved if we choose so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe what supports you most? I mean, you already shared that you take time, that you let the noise fall away, that you tune in, that you meet the fear or whatever is rising.
Do you
Is
know?
there?
Yeah, my biggest supporter is silence.
Hmm.
Silence. My biggest support is if and when I can come out of my rational thinking mind and not, yeah, not be thinking so much, and actually be trust in the divine, trust in what is, like trust in, because my trust in my nature, trust in my DNA, trust in the women before me. I feel like I only can pull from that when I'm in silence.
Wow. I listened to something of, I don't know if you've heard of Vida Austin, who speaks about water and the memory that water holds and how in some way water is how light comes into matter. Because
Wow.
our body is made of water.
Yeah,
And there is, as you say, there is information here. There is intelligence.
yeah,
And yes, through silence, the voice, I can, I don't know, hear that. I can
yeah.
receive that.
Oh, but yeah, I feel taken care of in silence.
Yeah,
Feel held in silence.
yeah,
It's so interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting.
yeah. And is there something specific where you feel how you know, dare to give yourself that space what supports you in that and to have the courage to see those fears and not necessarily act on them. I feel that's the thing, we all have fear, we all have stuff rising up, and then there's this tiny choice,
Yeah.
that moment of choice.
Well, I feel there is wisdom that I have read as well. Like there's wisdom I've read and felt and
Hmm.
resonated with. And one of the things that has helped me over the last 3 years is Vipassana.
Hmm.
So that practice has really, personally for me, allowed me to sit with my fears and to sit with anger and to sit with pain
Mm.
and to sit with joy and to see the fleeting nature of all of it and
Wow.
to see the change, like the change, just like it's constantly changing. Like there is, all that I can really do is try to remain equanimous throughout all of the different levels,
Mm.
consistently changing levels of all of it. And
Mm.
if I can do that, if I can keep practicing that, um, equanimity and stillness, I can allow the like intrusive fear and the intrusive worry to come but go.
Yeah.
So it's like you can really. see when you when I sit, when I practice, you can physically, like even physically see your thoughts, and you can compartmentalize them a little bit. You know, most of the time it's the past or the future, which is taking you out of the present moment anyway. If I hadn't done Vipassana, I may not have realized there was a way to allow that to all exist
Mm,
and actually find a bit of joy in it.
mm,
Find a little bit of like humor in it. Obviously that's not always the case, but when I'm committed and dedicated to my practice, I sense a lot of joy.
mm.
And joy is coming from the silence, because there's some, it feels like an inner child, like it feels like there's a humor to it. I mean, I don't know if I might have just gone crazy.
I have the same experience. I just, I mean, even bliss, I had some time in my life at some point where I was in absolute bliss about just experiencing all of this. And
Yeah,
it didn't really matter if it was a nice experience or if it was a challenging experience. I was so connected to the, this is I'm experiencing this, I'm so sad. I mean, oh my God, I'm so devastated. Almost like, how
yeah,
is
it's
this
like,
possible? I'm so
yeah.
over the moon. And I mean, in human design, I don't know if you're into human design, but there's this passenger consciousness. That's how Ra,
Yeah,
the man who brought human design to the world, he calls it passenger consciousness. And he said to cultivate that, which I feel is very much, it's very related to what you just shared.
yeah,
It's like you know, there's, I'm moving through landscape. There are colors, things are happening. I feel this way, I feel that way. And something is really just enjoying the ride.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fascinating to watch the neurosis sometimes as well, because
Yeah.
you can see yourself getting caught, you know, you can see the things that you get caught on. Because
Yeah.
I get caught, and you get caught on the things. For me, usually the things I get most caught on is if it's like it's a victim thing, or it's a victim mindset, which is yeah, that's it seems to be something that I have to work with. You know, I work with it. Ram Dass said something like suffering is clinging to the mind. So it's just like clinging. You actually feel the like contract, you can feel yourself like clinging to a thought, and then you're suffering.
Yeah. And I mean, you said before, as you were speaking about Vipassana, you said that you're either in the past or in the future. And I feel that's the power of birth as well. And that's also why birth seems so far out these days almost,
Mm.
because the birth is in the now. And
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
not really an
beautiful.
escape, let's say. Of course, people are trying to, and there's the suggestion or the illusion, I don't know, of, yeah, yeah, you don't have to go through it. And the real thing I feel is it's really now. And that's also how the pain of contractions I feel really served me. It's like here, stay here. That's how it was for me, at least. It just really brought me to warm. If I've ever had that experience, like my experience really is with pain in the wider sense,
Mm.
that the avoidance really is more pain.
Yeah,
And at
yeah,
some point, that expression of the Buddha came to me that said, well, when you suffer, when you're in pain, two arrows hit you
yeah,
because you have the pain and you have your story and your problem around the pain.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whereas I only have one arrow, I have the pain,
That's amazing.
whatever, or the physical discomfort or whatever it may be.
My because of the morning sickness that I have had throughout the duration of this pregnancy, most evenings, I think, to be honest, most evenings since I got pregnant, uh, I've been sick at least 3 or 4 times, and it's been an interesting thing because being nauseous and being physically sick is also quite, it can be quite painful as well, like on your throat and in
Yeah.
like your insides are like, my insides are quite upside down at the minute, and they have been for a while, so they're a little bit raw. And I've watched myself dealing with the consistency of that recurring sickness, and sometimes it can be really strong. It can be like a purge where I'm completely out of control. It's like it's almost like it's not even me. It feels energetic. It doesn't feel rational. It feels really spontaneous and like a clearing. But it can take a lot out of me. It can take a lot of my energy. And sometimes I can see myself feeling sorry for myself in the morning, being like, oh no, poor me. But then the other times I'm absolutely like resilient. And I'm just like, yeah, just accept, accept, accept. So I can see the two people, the two versions of me. And my day will depend on whether or not I've been a victim to it, or I've gone, right, this is resilience, thank you. Whatever you're teaching me, thank you.
So powerful, I feel. Just what you said there, my day depends on, it doesn't depend on how you felt the evening before. It depends on which perspective, in a
Yeah.
way, you choose in
What
the
am I
morning.
choosing for the rest of the day? Like,
Yeah,
do I feel sorry for myself because I didn't sleep enough, throwing up all night?
yeah.
Or do I eat and nutrition and get myself back to base level and try and have a nice day?
Yeah. Reset.
Yeah. This baby, from what I have felt, is a cleaner and is really cleaning me and my partner. Already it has exposed so much in our lives outside of the relationship, in the relationship now, our past. It's this child is almost feels like it's healing us from the
Wow.
inside out. And it just by being, just by being alive, just by being alive.
Very empowering. And of course, it already is a training in surrender, right?
Yeah, yeah, because also Mark isn't sleeping much because I'm sick.
Yeah.
So there is that, and for the first time, about 3 days ago, I the sickness was starting to really ramp up, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, I actually think I need a bit of support here.
Yeah.
Um, what do I do?" And the universe sent me a homeopath, an incredible woman, a wise Irish fairy.
Oh,
And she said, I hadn't taken medication. I kind of refused to take any medication for this. I felt like it was something that I could handle and maybe combat with food and rest in the day. But it was so interesting talking to her. She barely said anything. She just asked really interesting questions. And I explained to her what my deepest she asked what my deepest fears are right now. She said, reveal to me your deepest fears. Um, and I did that and I was crying a lot on the call. It was a Zoom. And
mm,
she said, okay. She said nothing. She just said, okay. And then she went away and sent me some remedies. But even just sharing that with her, a woman that I didn't know, a wise stranger, to be held by her in that moment, I wasn't sick for like a week. So it shows also, that showed to me that potentially I could be wrong, but some of the sickness might be to do with some fear, actually, some fear that's in my body or in the past or in my DNA that's maybe even also not just mine.
Most likely it's not just yours, because
Yeah,
I do feel, at this time, the cleaners and the cleansers come in,
yeah,
and you're probably also already one of those people, those human beings that are here to not simply keep the thing going that's already going,
yeah, no,
but to bring a reset, to bring an alternative, to really say, hey, being human, there's a different potential in this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it does feel like transmutation, like even just allowing all of this purging to happen and allowing all of this to be just present. I do feel like on a cellular level, this is positive,
Yeah.
even though it is really tiring. It is definitely a good thing.
I do suggest, in a way, throughout the pregnancy, to really look at those fears.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned that at some point before, to really go, what's my worst case scenario, whether it's logical or not. Not 3 days before birth, but we have some months to really look at it, to face it, and not to escape by positive thinking or something. There's a value to that.
Yeah.
And I feel birth is deep.
Mm, mm.
Birth is honest.
Yeah.
Pregnancy and all of that. There's no real escape. And so I can dare to face it. Now I'm still safe, I'm in month 4 or month 5. It's fine.
Yeah.
I can look at it. I can look at, oh my God, and as irrational as they may be, what images come up? Because ever so often they are not mine, as you said. It's not just my story here. We are connected. We are, and I really feel we are connected in love. And even though, being sick, it doesn't feel maybe like an act of love in the first place, it's still tied into this field of love. Life is doing the best possible under the given circumstances.
Mm, mm.
What is it that supports us as women? I feel you already said a few things, and I do feel, I don't know, I feel the main thing is that to feel safe during pregnancy. I just feel it's safety, feeling safe, that's the thing, and whatever that means to you, and not feeling safe in this controlling way, like you have to do this or not do that on a more superficial level. I feel it's an in depth safety that this is about, that this is inviting.
Yeah, energy that I'm around and the relationship that I'm in and being able to having the spaciousness to relax and to actually tend to my body without feeling the need to do something, without being pressured or feeling like I have to um, be doing something. Emotional safety, physical safety, great. There's a house over my head. There's a cave. There's a cave feeling. I feel safe. There is green everywhere. I feel really safe physically in this house. And it's but emotional safety is a whole different ball game because it's like, are you, yeah, can you relax? Can you relax? Can you relax and feel safe to relax?
Every human being is a new beginning. So there is an opportunity, always, on many levels. And I feel we live in a time right now that is more and more becoming aware of this emotional quality, and that we are emotionally connected, which means when we're in the same space, we are in the same emotional ocean. Um, it's just here. And it's not so much about like, oh, but this is yours. There is a quality I feel about discerning. And I feel with emotions, it's more about becoming kind of transparent for the emotions, just really using all that's in the space and to clear my own system so that at some point the anger or the joy, you know, that I'm just open to let it flow through me and it's not tossing and turning me. To see that, yeah, every emotion in the space that hooks in with me either points me to some whatever tiny particle inside of myself that's not fully integrated yet, or it points me to my, let's call it, perforated emotional membranes. Like I have one of my teacher, if you will, she wasn't a teacher per se, but she really influenced me a lot in raising children. Oh, hi. There's a fly. And she really used this biological image of every cell has a membrane, and the membrane is semi-permeable. So it inside of the cell, the decision is being made of what goes out and what comes in. Rebecca Wild is her name, and she, of course, drew this information also from other sources. And we don't have that membrane intact usually on a physical level because most children are being touched in ways that they don't particularly say yes to, 100%. So there are tweaks and twists and adaptations. And then on an emotional level also, we're not in this intact membrane field. We're not, our yes and our no have not always been respected. So we had to adjust because we're so well equipped that we will make it. We manage to survive. We develop strategies and that helps us to survive, and that's cool. And there's more. There's a deeper quality of life. And I feel part of what you're sharing is, or maybe all of it, is this shedding and this reclaiming. Hey, there's a membrane, and that membrane says yes or no, says in or out.
That's it. That's it. Really, it really is. I know that, like, from childhood anyway, you personally, I would choose connection over myself. So if there was energy that was, not healthy, and or anger, aggression, or volatility, or whatever it was, I would swallow that because I wanted connection anyway. So that's been, having to unlearn that one has been really interesting. For me, a trauma that, probably my first ever trauma, was abandoning myself. So and that has been a whole journey in itself.
And I feel children don't have a choice there. I mean, Dr. Gabor Mate really points that out super clearly, and I also fully see it that way. Authenticity and connection, it's both vital, but without connection, we simply don't survive. So we sacrifice our authenticity, and I feel that's a very widespread wound these days. We're trained to be polite. We're trained to not disappoint other people. Which is already, I feel, somewhat codependent, because if I, as a child, don't want to come closer then, and my children were pretty clear with these things often. Like, I had a very sweet little baby, smiley, 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 and once people came closer than 1 meter, wham, the whole face, just, it was like shutters closed. No. It was without words. It was a very clear no, and I felt like it's my job to respect that, whether people got it or not. That was their thing, but I felt, yeah, I'm going to take care of that and say, hey, yeah, you can look. And I do feel that's part of, for me at least, I really felt I was still pretty conditioned, even on the other side of birth. And it felt like one of those challenges that I was almost, well, I was really, I felt I was very, I don't have the word right now, committed maybe to respecting this baby's boundaries. I was kind of more committed to it than I was able to respect my own boundaries at the time. But there was this energy that came in, and I just felt like, no, 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 I cannot cross that boundary. It felt,
And a piece of advice that I have been feeling and hearing is, whatever you choose to do with your birth, are you willing to take full responsibility for what happens and not blame whoever around is or isn't around you? Is it, are you, can, like, that's a big part of the journey.
wow, that really gives me goosebumps, because I feel what we forget often is who's responsible, you know? This is my life. And we're so used to, and there's, you know, just as you found someone to support you now, but I feel you found someone to support you out of your own responsibility, not by going there and saying, hey, help me, you know, save me, do the thing for me. But to really see I'm in my own aligned space, in my precious life, fully connected, and I take the full responsibility, which I feel means, and I tap into my full power. For me, it's the same somehow by now.
It feels the same, not just with birth. It feels the same with everything. Like, it feels the same with everything. Like, if I feel like I can relate that to almost anything in my life, with regards to blame and responsibility. And it's like it's like you kind of just have two choices. You either stay stuck in it was their fault, or you, regardless of what happens, you take radical responsibility for your part and you become free from the situation. It feels like a choice. It feels like a choice.
I feel it's one of the only choices. It's a very fundamental choice, I feel. And I was very reluctant in my life to take full responsibility. Somehow, the way I grew up, it always sounded as if I was responsible meant I'm guilty. There was this combination that's how it felt to me. And then to see at some point, like, wow, only by stepping into the full responsibility of whether I like it right now or not, that's not the point. I don't have to like it. I just take it, or I receive it in a way as also life's guidance, as life pointing me to something. Hey, this is not the path. This is not working. Or this is the path. This is where the energy flows. Yeah.
It's a challenging one. And another thing that I'm having to come to terms with as well is, like, death, fear of death, and fear, like, birth and death feel so linked. And like I said, like, the fear of my child dying, or the fear of me and my child dying in birth, is actually down. It's down there with, that's what the root. That's actually where it's all coming from, really. Yeah. And if I can make peace with, like, the fact that birth is as risky as life is, it does feel like it comes down to the fear of dying and the fear of the child dying. That is what I'm dealing with, and that is what I am making peace with. And when if I can really make peace with that, then I think it's gonna be okay.
I mean, birth and death are those two very big transformations that we can't control after all. I mean, whatever is being tried and whatever illusion of we seemingly can control certain aspects, there's really that space where no one has that. We don't have that in our human hands. And I feel this illusion of control also was it at some point I could see that it's an illusion of control that I'm being promised by some of the support systems, let's say. That really I'm just as I had this insight with my midwife, I gave birth at home. But even there, I could see, but she's not going to do this for me. You know, no one's going to give birth apart from this one mother here. And it's going to be this one mother and this one baby or two, whatever the situation is. And I can really feel this empowering effect of it really sets us free, as what you're describing, to feel, wow, I'm held by life. And birth and death are two expressions. And if we really make peace with that death aspect, because I feel that's the underlying fear with birth. Someone could die. Yeah. And to face that. And to maybe also, I really, I'm one of these people who also cry tears over things that have not yet happened or are not happening. So I actually cried over the death, the potential death of my baby, because I was so moved by that. I just felt so much, so deeply. I could feel this pain of a mother who does not give birth to a baby that then, starts to grow into an adult. It helps me process. Like I'm it's part of my, and I do feel, I think not everyone's the same, but I just feel I've really cried a lot in my life over almost like the pain of humanity in those specific situations. I've cried for all the mothers who were in this situation, and I've cried for all the, whatever, couples and the challenges, just to process it in a way, and to wash it, to cleanse it, and to liberate it, and to integrate it. That for me, crying, like really physical tears, they actually are a cleanse. They actually take toxins and other accumulated things. They take the stress out of the system on a physical level as well. So I feel they are like a valve for our system. So I'm in for the crying. I feel it's natural, and it's also, I learned that through being the mother of babies, to see the crying, it's their valve. It's really their emergency exit at some point as well, because the system can only handle so and so much stress or discomfort or being out of alignment, that it has to come out. And then it's not really about shooing it down. It's more about being there, offering that safe space, of course checking what's needed. First I check all the things that might be needed, but it's also being aware that this is a natural cleansing. It's a process that our system has, so that we can survive, that we can have a reset. Yeah. Feels complete, huh? Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so nice to have a safe space to talk about this.
Yeah. Yes, and I feel just as you have experienced it, and as I have experienced it before, by expressing something, simply expressing what's here, that in itself is a transformation. I just give my voice to it. I bring it out, and then I can see. So often these fears, if I don't even dare to name them, they have more power over me than, yeah. Wow. And, I'm so touched by this. There's something very vulnerable and very powerful at the same time about this process and what I'm, perceiving as I'm speaking to you here. I feel, yep, in a way, these fully open hearts are the strongest. They're the most resilient. The seemingly unprotected ones, I'm fully here, I'm fully available.
It's like the Magdalene, the way that her way of being, or that way of living, is no protection. She believed in that protection was what stopped the heart, and that was what came in between you and God and another, was actually the need to protect yourself. I find protection can be a block. Actually, it can be a block, and I actually found my strength lies in my gentleness.
Like water. For me, it's like water because I live by the ocean. And anyway, it's so obvious that it's so soft, it just, you can't even hold on to it when you put your fingers in. And it shapes the whole landscape. I feel this is also one of those almost secret feminine powers. I can be so open. I can just be so open that I cannot be hurt in a way because there's nothing that can hit me. Everything's soft about those toddlers. They are fully equipped to meet the world, to bump into things and not hurt themselves. So they learn, they learn through experience, and their bodies are built to make this safe. They're kind of roundish. They have short arms and legs. It's all equipped to experience the world in a and it's us, I feel, who bring in the fear.
No, I know. Oh gosh.
Oh wow, what's that doing to you?